want to go through the probable cause affidavit and connect it to Donna Seraphina, the psychic, her first reading that she ever did on the JJ and Tylee Ryan case. Back when she made this, it was January 31st, 2020, and she hardly had an inkling of what was going on in the case. I think she barely even knew the dynamic. She just knew it was a crazy mom, possibly a crazy stepdad, and maybe even an uncle in there, but she mostly just knew that, you know, there were 2 missing kids. So let's go ahead and connect what Donna Seraphina reads, visualizes, and then connect it to this probable cause document. And I'll try to do it in an expeditious manner, but it's pretty long, and there's going to be a lot of sound bites I have to play. So I'm probably going to break this video into like maybe 4 15-minute segments or something like that, because I don't have that many subscribers. So it's like, I think YouTube only gives me 15 minutes maybe per video. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to roll through. Let's begin at the beginning. And the beginning is when Donna Seraphina is visualizing water. I think she refers to it as a lake or a river at this point. But she sees a boy in a black plastic bag being carried by 2 people, a man and a woman, and buried. So let's go ahead and roll that clip.
I'm seeing a boulder right around there, and then if you went just past the boulder, and then you go in, and I feel like there's woods there that are relatively close to the water. It could be right out the water. Oh, because it depends on how high the river is. Okay, pretty smart. Because I was seeing I was seeing the big trees right next to the river, and then I was seeing the big trees with sand. And so if you kind of went behind the this big boulder and went up into the woods, I'm seeing, I'll tell you what I'm seeing, but I hope it's wrong. But anyways, I hope it's wrong, but this is what I'm going to see. I'm just going to see it, even though I might be stupid. Okay, what I'm seeing is a man and a woman, and they're carrying one person, wrapped in a black, it's black plastic, and it has ropes tied, like there's a rope tied around the neck, rope tied around the, you know, where the arms would be, like they tied a rope about every 1.5 feet, you know, rope around the ankles, but they're tying it, seems like they, I don't know, that's just their burial way, what they're doing. And, so, and then it feels like, the man is digging pretty hard there.
Okay, so let's roll through.
And then covering that it feels like it's the boy.
It's the boy
that was buried there.
Okay, Donna, pausing you for a second. So let me tell you guys real quick. Remember that when she's getting these psychic visions or readings, she's simply seeing flashes of pictures that are coming into her consciousness, and it's up to her to make sense of what she's even seeing. So she's gonna get details like lakes and rivers and things like that, maybe out of sync with what is really going on. Like in the probable cause document, we know that that's actually a pond. So let's go ahead and we'll fast forward to where she's seeing rocks, which then corresponds to the probable cause affidavit and what was actually found. So we're going to roll over to, I think, 13 minutes. About 13 minutes. We'll go 24 seconds. Hopefully that gets it.
Side of the river, when you're looking up the river, is a boulder. Okay.
Which is
and
a rock.
It's probably at least waist high or something. Could be bigger, I don't know. Feels like granite, but I don't know about that either. Because, see, it's like I'll see a rock, so they're getting me to say something about the rock.
She sees rocks.
Now, if I don't say it feels like that, and it is, it's like, oh, I should have said that.
Okay.
But
let's pause.
It might not be because...
Okay. Here we go. Let's go ahead and refer to paragraph number 32 in the probable cause affidavit. says members of the FBI ERT team removed the top layer of sod. Underneath the layer of sod were several large flat rocks. The rocks were removed and 2 pieces of flat paneling were found. The paneling was removed and investigators exposed a round object covered in black plastic. Upon exposing the round object covered in black plastic, a strong odor was noticed. A FBI ERT member used a small, sharp instrument and made a small incision in the plastic, and a layer of white plastic was observed. An incision was made into the white layer of plastic, exposing what appeared to be human remains, the crown of a head covered in light brown hair. The remaining dirt, what she talks about, around this object was methodically removed, exposing what appeared to be a body wrapped in black plastic. The plastic appeared to be tightly wrapped around the body and secured with gray duct tape. Remember, she sees ropes, and she sees them placed about like every foot of him just to kind of secure it. So detail slightly off, but still very much the same. So let's move on to what she's seeing with Tylee. And guys, I need to give you a very serious warning on this. It gets extremely graphic. So if you have a queasy tummy, I would probably not watch from here on out because it's pretty descriptive and very nasty. So let's roll through. We're going to go to about 16 minutes in. Let's see, 16. We'll go, just to be safe, 15:57. Here we go. Let's roll.
I'm going to go back, and you know what? It's like there's more to this story here at this lake. But we're back at the house now. I'm seeing a leg.
A leg. Human leg.
What I'm seeing is so gross, I don't necessarily even want to say it because it just cannot be true. And I'm going to delete this from whatever. If I put something up, I'm going to delete this. But it's just sickening. I see them starting a fire and roasting. It's like at this little summer home thing, and there's where you could conceivably like roast a pig there.
A fire pit.
It feels like they're roasting a leg, like the leg of the girl. I swear to God.
So disgusting.
I can't. It's
Evil.
hard for me to believe how this could be happening in my mind. So what I'm gonna do is I can't believe anyone would do that. So since it's so unreal, it's burning the front of my forehead too, and so I'm just gonna say a prayer of.
At this point, what she's seeing is so absolutely disturbing that she has to say a prayer, which I would definitely be doing also. Okay, guys, let me go ahead and correspond what she just said about Tylee and the setting where she was found, and then we will carry on to the next detail, which is the the outbuilding. She doesn't say it's red in this video, but she talks about everything pretty much that you hear or that you read in the probable cause document. So here we go. Let me make sure I'm on the right track. Number 36. Okay, so we're going to paragraph number 36. A second site of interest was located behind a red unattached outbuilding, located roughly in the center of the property near a fire pit. Next to the fire pit is an area used as a pet cemetery. The site correlated to several GPS pings of Alex Cox's phone on September 9, 2019. Ground in this area was probed with a steel pole, and several areas of disturbed ground were located. During a search of this ground, a buried cat and dog remains were found. A backhoe was used to dig further layers of dirt. While doing this, bricks were located approximately a foot below the ground. Once the bricks were discovered, the soil was examined and what appeared to be 2 bones were located. Based on the condition of the bones, Cheryl Anderson was not able to determine whether the bones were human. Methodically, the dirt in this area was searched, and several other items of interest were found, including other bones, charred tissue, and charred bones. Cheryl Anderson indicated these additional bones, both charred and uncharred, and tissue were human remains. Investigators provided photos of some of the partial remains that were found at the pet cemetery to Sarah Getz, PhD, a forensic anthropologist. Dr. Getz was able to identify those remains as being non-adult human remains. All right, let's go through to about 18 minutes and we'll say 55 seconds-ish. Let me see. That's where she really starts to describe this property. Actually, we'll let it roll. Let's go at 1729.
I would like God, energy,
no,
love, energy,
I'm sorry. Let's scoot it just a little bit.
So that only which is truthful.
We'll scoot it to 1831.
First, he was using something else. For whatever I was talking about a minute ago, I saw a different kind of...
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Just a second. 18...
Sure, would. Jeez, like with a meat cleaver. First, he was using something else. For whatever I was talking about a minute ago, I saw a different kind of... I don't know what he was taking her, her thigh off with, but it was bigger than the meat cleaver. But then on her knee bone, he was using a meat cleaver. He's like literally in... There's a garage and off a building not connected to the little house, the little summer house. You know, it could be a permanent house, but that's the type and style and the feeling I have. That's all. Maybe because I've never been there and I just been to movies or something. Like, I don't know why I have that feeling, but just keep an open mind. There's the garage part is not connected to the main house. It's like considered an outbuilding here in California or whatever. Okay, so I feel that the wood, you'd recognize it right away because it's like when someone, the siding is plywood, but then they thought they were being decorative, so they would take a 1-inch by 2-inch boards and put them evenly spaced on the outside and then paint the whole thing like that's a kind of decorated, garage building. But inside, it's not really meant to park cars, at least the way it's set up, because it has a workbench around 3 sides of it. And it feels like he had the daughter's body on that workbench, and he's literally chopping it up. He's got plastic everywhere, but it seems to me there would be like so much blood evidence there. Like all over the floor or in the cracks at the end. Because he didn't do that great of a job of putting up all the plastic. The plastic I'm seeing now with her is clear plastic. Why would he have 2 different plastics? Who the heck knows?
Man.
So with her, he's trying to do something different. These people are sick.
Yes, they are. Very sick.
I feel like it's just like, for now, I'm going to put these pieces of body parts in the deep freezer.
Okay, let's pause there. I want you to go ahead and take a look at this picture. So when I looked Chad Daybell's home up on Realtor.com, I'll never believe what I saw. A deep freezer right there. So, as she gets into these details, I mean, this is irrefutable, guys. This is irrefutable that she saw details that were so very descriptive. You cannot refute that they completely correspond with this document right here. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there because I can only make these, I think, 15-minute videos. So I'm going to start my next video. Make sure you follow it. It should be maybe 4 videos. We'll go through this. And I forgot to really disclaim that I've never believed in psychics. I've always been very skeptical about that until this case, until Reverend Donna Seraphina really opened my eyes that a psychic could be completely on point. I mean, there are very few details that she gets slightly off, but for the most part, she's extremely accurate. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, and we'll get through this. Let's just keep connecting these dots, guys. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and go to the next video. I'm sorry. Bye. Hi, YouTube. Let's carry on with the second video. of Donna Seraphina. We're going to again connect these points that are made in the probable cause affidavit with what Reverend Donna Seraphina saw psychically psychically back in January 31st of 2020. Again, this is when she didn't know much about the case. In fact, nobody really knew what was going on. All they knew was that there were missing kids, and they were out of Rexburg, Idaho, and the mom was a bit crazy, as we know. I think that's the only details probably that Donna even knew. So the rest, her consciousness sort of took over, showed her these pictures of what was really going on, and then it was up to her to piece it together, what she was seeing. So let's go ahead and roll the video. We'll carry on from here. This is going to be another 15-minute video, and let's go. We're going to start back up at where she's talking about the barn, or the outbuilding she refers to it as, and let's go.
It's like considered an outbuilding here in California or whatever. Okay, so I feel that the wood, you would recognize it right away, because it's like when the siding is plywood, but then they thought they were being decorative, so they would take a 1-inch by 2-inch boards and put them evenly spaced on the outside, and then paint the whole thing like that's a kind of decorated, garage building. But inside, it's not really meant to park cars, at least the way it's set up, because it has a workbench around 3 sides of it. And it feels like he had the daughter's body on that workbench, and he's literally chopping it up. He's got plastic everywhere, but it seems to me there would be like so much blood evidence there.
I'll be right back.
Like all over the floor or in the cracks at the end. Because he didn't do that great of a job of putting up all the plastic. The plastic I'm seeing now with her is clear plastic. Why would he have 2 different plastics? Who the heck knows? So with her, he's trying to do something different. These people are sick. I feel like it's just like, for now, I'm going to put these pieces of body parts in the deep freezer. And he puts them in there. I don't know if he's in the garage anymore, though. He could be in that house in a pantry, or this hallway that leads to the kitchen goes to outside. There might be one of these deep freezers,
which I showed you the picture of in the last video. Okay.
It's somewhere, though.
Let's go ahead and stop it right there. Okay, so the next point that she starts to hit on is that she sees, what I think she's referring to is the group of people, the FBI and all of them that came out to uncover the human remains on Chad Daybell's property. I think at this point she's seeing men wearing black going to the site where JJ was buried. So that's going to be somewhere around 22 minutes. We could just let it roll, I think, from it might be too far. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's go here. 21:50. She has moments of silence where she's collecting her thoughts. This is one of them.
Okay. They're showing me a search team going to this area past the boulder. You'd be able to find that not too hard. And you're walking, so now there's 4 or 5 men wearing uniforms or something. So you're walking up. It feels like a slight slope could be actually more than a slight slope going up the embankment or the edge. There's trees like almost right away. So sometimes the years the trees are like right to the water almost, and then other times the years it goes down and you could walk along the thing, you know. So we're the group of men. I'm with this group of men, and we're walking up to look for the body. The one in black plastic with the robes, which I believe is the boy, is not that far in.
Again?
Maybe 50 feet, maybe.
There's the site.
Maybe. I mean, when I see it visually, I would guess that's only like 20, 30 feet, but it's kind of up a slope or something. And then as the slope kind of doesn't totally flatten out, but kind of has a gradual...
Notice they're all wearing black,
it's
like
right
she
about
says.
there, in between where it starts going up a little bit more again. That's just to the left when you're walking inland, just to the left of the path, or the way you're going there, the path. It feels like there's a little bit of a path there. Maybe it's not a man-made path. I don't know, but it feels like it won't be that hard to walk through there. Okay, so then it starts going up again. I'm feeling like this is where they might have went back with when they got like the next day or whatever, when they got the
Another thing she's seeing is she's seeing two separate experiences, two separate returns back to Chad Daybell's property. And she makes that clear as we go through this, more towards the end of her video. But I mean, that's a big deal too. Again, when she made this video, nobody knew whether those kids were dead or alive, or whether they were with, you know, some cult members or something. So for her to know this specific detail of down to where these bodies were buried and what landmarks were near them is absolutely amazing. Let's roll through it.
Girl's cut up body. Like, I don't feel like they cut up the boy's body, but then, okay, so cut up body. A little past where they buried the boys, you go up another slope. And this time it feels like he kind of veered off into the left. There might be some ferns there or something. You know, there's trees for sure, those big giant trees.
Would you see trees on that
evergreens
property?
Or whatever.
Definitely.
But there's and I don't know for sure evergreens, I just know big giant trees. And then there's I feel like there's some ferns back in there where they buried the body parts of the little girl, and I don't know if they brought all the body parts or if they're gonna put them other places. So I'm only seeing the one package that had like her two arms, which were each cut.
Oh my gosh.
The elbow and the shoulder. Oh, and then the two pieces of one leg. They're literally showing me of them putting this leg on this thing, like a rotisserie type thing, an outdoor thing.
Fire pit.
That you would cook over an open fire like you might roast a pig on, I swear to God. And eating it. And they don't even care. And it's like they're insane or something. Like, and it makes me wonder, like, why am I seeing this? Like, would my worst imagination make this up? Like, feel free to discount it, and it could make my entire...
Again, let's hit on this paragraph just one more time, because it's driving home a serious point about Donna and her abilities. Once the bricks were discovered, the soil was examined, and what appeared to be 2 bones were located. Based on the condition of the bones, Cheryl Anderson was not able to determine whether the bones were human, which she later does. So, let's go to 2920, where she gets very serious about, if you find this, then they did this. Here it is.
Maybe I'm just, I am kind of like looking at air. So anyways, okay, so go towards the center of that. It's like he went right in the middle there and buried the one leg and the. If you find one leg and two arms, I'm telling you right now that they did eat that other leg. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go blank a minute so they can start showing me.
I think next she's going to get into the description
Seeing the girl again, so
of
this is
the home.
going to be about the girl.
Oh, man.
Feels like they just didn't want kids.
Pretty much.
To like hamper up her life or whatever.
Let's try to get into the description of the home here.
Might be sitting and talking or something. It could be a little bigger than that, but that, I mean, that's just a feeling I get. I'm seeing these things and I see bits and pieces. So then if you see it and it's like 10 feet big and you're like, oh no, she said a little porch. No, this is what I see. I see pieces of this front porch. I almost feel like the house may have been, well, it feels to me, well, it's definitely built between the 50s and the 70s. I feel like it's a one-story, but it could be now a two-story. Like maybe someone came along later and added one more, you know, a bedroom on half the house or whatever. So that's why if I said one story and then you see a two-story and you're like, oh no, that's not it. Well, that's why. It might even still be painted two different colors. Like if the bottom story has one color of paint and then that addition has like still, they left it like wood brown where you stain the wood or whatever, something like that. But you know what? On those kinds of things too, it's not that I'm wrong. Like you throw the whole thing away about the house on this list.
She even talks about there could be like a bedroom on that add-on. She just said that like 2 or 3 sentences ago. And here it is. The bedroom. Or maybe 2 bedrooms. Let me see. Yeah, I guess 2 bedrooms. What's really creepy? That bedroom, this bedroom right here, overlooks the outbuilding. So whoever was sleeping there, I don't know if anybody was that night when the bodies were delivered. Gross. Okay. Let's see. Come on, play.
Because it looks like a garage and it's about the size of a garage, was built to be a workshop, right? For a hobbyist. Because it has a workbench on all 3 sides. And that they show me over and over. So that I know is not just a picture from my mind. That is an important element. So that's another thing about recognizing the level of how much the spirits are emphasizing something over and over and over and over. It feels like he used a hacksaw part of the time.
Unspeakable.
And dismembered his daughter. Okay, and this is his stepdaughter. I don't know who this relationship or whatever. It would have been the stepfather or something. I don't know. But anyways, it feels like, yeah, I see him using a hacksaw. I'm not kidding. And also a meat cleaver. He may have tried an axe. Like, it sounds like he was trying a few things. I mean, used a few different things in
okay, guys. I gotta leave it there again. So we got into more of the descriptive details she gives, and the next video we're going to get more into as the story goes on and where I think some of that probable cause affidavit talks about back at Lori's apartment with Melanie Gibb and details like that, and I think we can connect some dots there as well. So hopefully I'll be able to make my 3rd video today. I don't know for sure because I'm really kind of busy the next few hours, but I'll try to. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I'm sorry such graphic material, but let's get through this. It's just crazy. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Hey YouTube, thank you so much for joining me. This is my third video today, and I wanted to go ahead and pick up where we left off and go over more things that she vividly saw back when she made this video on January 31st, 2020. So let's revisit the fact that she did not know what at all was going on with this case. She knew very, very little. I think she probably only read like one or two things about the family. She knew mom was crazy. She knew there was a stepdad in there and that there was an uncle. And besides that, all she knew was that there was missing kids and nobody had seen them or heard from them in probably 3 or 4 months at that point. So let's go ahead and get started. I think where we left off was details about the barn or the outbuilding, and let's carry on from there. I'll stop it as I see fit to further describe ways in which there's a parallel with that affidavit, the probable cause affidavit. So let's roll it.
Keep open. But one thing, like with that detached garage, it's definitely detached from the house. So even if you saw a little house like that and you know it's the house and one of these characters somehow related, grew up there or had a little 4-year-old there, or there was a little gross 4-year-old that everyone knew, just whatever, you identify that house. There could possibly be an attached garage to the house or attached,
which by the way,
those carport things,
which by the way there is. I'll show you. Also, while I'm thinking about it, she describes, oh, hang on a second, I'm sorry, hold on. Come on, load now. Okay. She describes that there's a garage, but then there's also an outbuilding. So here is the garage. And remember, she also describes that the home was a 1-story, 2-story conversion. Therefore, it looks like, where's the picture? Hang on a second. Looks like this from the outside. What if I can get there? Looks like that. She even says in the video that there's 2 different paints, which, you see brick there and then you see paint on the outside of that one. Anyway, we'll carry on.
Possibility, I don't see it, but I don't know. But maybe this thing that looks like a garage and it's about the size of a garage was built to be a workshop, right? For a hobbyist. Because it has a workbench on all 3 sides. And that they show me over and over. So that I know is not just a picture from my mind. That is an important element. So that's another thing about recognizing the level of how much the spirits are emphasizing something over and over and over and over. It feels like he used a hacksaw.
Ugh.
Part of the time.
Disgusting.
And dismembered his daughter. Okay, and this is his stepdaughter. I don't know who this relationship.
See, she barely even knows who she's talking about.
Or something. I don't know.
Which is truly
but
amazing.
Anyways, it feels like, I see him using a hacksaw. I'm not kidding. And also a meat cleaver. He may have tried an axe. Like it sounds like he was trying a few things. I mean, used a few different things in chopping this body up. Okay, so now they're showing me, okay, so they showed where they put those parts. Now they're showing me the abdominal part of a body with all the organs coming out.
Unbelievable.
Feels like there's a drain on the floor. That's something important. If you see, obviously you would, if you saw a drain on the floor, would look into the drain. Some little piece of jewelry she was wearing may have, or a little sweater pin, or some little piece of something. It looks gold to me. the little angel thing.
With how descriptive she is, I honestly, about a week ago, I contacted the Fremont County's Fremont County Prosecutor's Office, because I felt so strongly that Donna's story is unbelievably precise when you connect the affidavit with what she's saying. And even at that point, just back when I made the phone call, that was when all we knew was that there was charred remains possibly, and that there was just, fragmented pieces of Tylee left. So I felt like I've got to contact Fremont County Prosecutor's Office so they can go further investigate that barn if they haven't. Because what she's describing right here is really crazy. The fact that they chopped her body up in there. I'm sorry, I'm being very, very disgusting and gross just saying it like that. But I've got to be real here. I mean, that's what happened. That there was a drain on the floor. And if that is true, and they haven't exploited that last possible key detail of missing evidence, let's say, there is, if Donna's correct, a necklace or some sort of memento of Tylee that may have fallen off of her in the midst of all that mess. So if that's true, that's a big deal. I mean, that right there will connect a lot of dots in this case. Anyway, we shall keep going.
May have went in the drain with some blood too. But you see, this is the thing. I've never sat there and just done this psychically. For all I know, it could be some jokester spirit feeding me crazy information, and they do exist. And I would just say that it's really important to have someone of the loved one, because then about every 2 or 3 things, it's like a cinnamon roll. They'll keep going back in and giving something that confirms who they are. That the sitter or the sitter, that's the person who loves the person or whatever in spirit. When that person, they'll tell them every couple of things. They tell me about facts, and they'll tell me
skip ahead a little bit,
and so the animals will just eat them.
Okay. This is kind of an important piece. Just a second. What she believes Chad did with the body in some places.
Now it feels like he took the rest of the body pieces, like he brought them in a bag or something. This time his idea is just scatter them all over, just kind of put them under bushes and here and there, and so the animals will just eat them. Because he feels like he made them small enough where the animals will just get them, and where maybe people won't recognize what they are. Like, he got pretty gruesome. I mean, he might have even used a sledgehammer to break some bones to try to make them, like, unrecognizable and stuff like that. And to be, like, scattered quicker.
Wow.
But it's up in this... If you find the boy's body, and it's where I say, then when you go up a little and you see this cluster of... you see the trees. You're walking in the middle of the trees during all this. But looks like a bunch of ferns to me. It could be, I'm to be saying that it could be blackberry bushes for all I know, but, just a bunch of fluffy bushes in the middle of all that. There's like a cluster of them. That's where he buried the limbs. And then it feels like then they go back to there. So I don't know if they go back or they did it all at once, but I just know that
she's about to get
chill about something. Okay, did they?
Okay, she's about to get to some serious groundbreaking points in this case, because it's only through the probable cause affidavit that we truly know. Well, and I guess maybe a little bit of common sense there, but we know that Tylee and JJ were killed and buried at different times. Well, she makes this connection right here, and I'll go ahead and play that right now.
All at once? Did they bring your body there all at once? Did they bring her body there all at once? No, I'm not getting chills. Did he go back there on more than one occasion to bury these children's bodies? Big chill.
Yeah. That's exactly what
Did
happened.
he bury the boy's body one day and then the girl's the next day? The upriver part might be wider than, it's almost like I'm upriver, but now I see that things.
And I don't know if I've shown you guys because it's hard to remember all the videos I've made lately. But there is a lot of water, different water sources on Chad Daybell's property. And really, not necessarily water sources, but it's it seems like canals and things feed in through his property. If you go ahead and take a look at this photo on East Idaho News, these are some aerial shots, and you can see that there's water that runs on both sides here. Then there's another shot right here that looks like, I don't know, what is that, like an irrigation stream or I don't know, something, which is the neighboring, actually that might even be part of his land. I'm not positive about that, don't quote me. But there's water all over this area. Look at that. There's water here too. Look at that. So when she's seeing water, how is she supposed to discern? Is it a lake? Is it a river? Is it a pond? It's just water to her, right? All right, let's carry on.
Could get wider again of a river. It's like this, the river might get narrower and then wider, like when you're seeing out the other side. Really interesting. And,
She'll take these pauses where she's sort of collecting her thoughts, I think. I'm sorry, there's some dead space. Maybe I'll move it along just a hair.
Is the computer doing this thing called EVP?
Okay. Is this more dead space? Maybe a little? Sorry, guys.
Said about the mom?
Oh, this is good. Right here.
Okay. What I need to do is just go back into the receiving state. Don't even worry about clarifying this little bit because I don't even know what's going on. I'm kind of losing my mind here. This is the thing, too. That's why you usually have a second person. You don't just sit there wandering off into space, but that's all right. Okay.
I've got about 2 minutes and then I have to go to the next video. I'm so sorry.
I see the girl again. I feel like maybe she bites her nails or something.
Do we know if Tylee does? I mean, I've never noticed her hands before.
She
or did. I'm sorry, did.
I don't know if it's anxiety or what the anxiety, if the anxiety is about family stuff or social stuff or. If other kids tease her about being a little heavy, like I'm not sure. I don't know. I just feel like she's biting her nails. She's crying.
Okay, I'm about to run out of time. Let me pause it. I'm so sorry. I have to now go on to the next video. If you would like to go ahead and subscribe, be my guest. If you don't want to, that's okay too. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I'd love to spread the awareness that Donna, Seraphina saw this before anybody did. And to me, that is just, I'm sorry, but that's pretty remarkable. So please spread this video where you can. Make sure you like it so it can kind of go up in the algorithm and more people can see it. Thank you so much. I'll get to the next video. Bye. Hi, YouTube. This is now my 4th video. And what I'm doing is I'm going through Reverend Donna Seraphina's video that she made January 31st, 2020, when there were missing kids, JJ and Tylee, and they were out of Rexburg, Idaho. Nobody knew what was going on with the case, so she came in and did a reading. At the time, I don't think she knew any details about them, really, just very few. So for her to go off the cuff and just connect with whatever entity it is that she connects with, that gives her these visuals, these pictures in her mind, and then she speaks on. I mean, it's something I can't relate to because it's honestly an amazing ability. And I believe that God gives different people different abilities, and that is one of hers. And it's a profound ability, in my opinion. Anyway, we shall go through, we'll pick up where we left off. This gets more into the description of, I think, the crimes when they actually took place. So you definitely want to stay tuned here. We'll try to sort it out because some of it does get a little confusing. You're not sure whether she's talking about the home we now know that is Chad Daybell's home, or if she is actually maybe even talking about Lori's apartment, since we have seen the probable cause affidavit, and we know that Alex was over there for an extended period of time, and they came back from Yellowstone, obviously. So my theory is the crime possibly took place at Lori's home. What do you guys think? Make sure you put your comments below. I'll go ahead and start, though. And again, I'll have to cut it off at 15 minutes and start on my next video because I don't have a huge subscriber base because I just started, and they give you like 15 minutes. So let's go ahead.
I just really can't believe a moment in this.
We might be having a little more dead space.
I feel like emotionally, I don't even know if it's really traumatic. Maybe my spirit guides are showing me how traumatic it is to see if I actually have the nerve to go further or something like that. I don't know. But I'll wait for a couple minutes and see. Because we could also, have I have a little chills. I feel the presence of spirit. That could be the adult male that comes through, or the boy. See, I don't know if it's them. The mother. I feel like she likes killing.
Done.
I actually feel like the woman likes killing.
Yeah, I think she does too.
The mother? I feel like she likes killing. And I feel like if they roasted her leg, which is so crazy, I know, I don't even barely believe it, but this is what I was seeing. I feel like them making sandwiches out of the meat.
Blech. Gross.
And if you go there, and if all this is real and exists, you find the body, look in the freezer. Open any packages of meat. They might be in butcher paper. They might be in foil with tape.
We should all call Fremont County prosecutors and tell them that.
Just look for frozen
Seriously.
meat. It's so gross. I think it would be cooked probably.
Because what if they haven't
Maybe,
checked?
I don't know. This is so gross. It feels like in this house, the kitchen area overlooks it's like I'm feeling a kitchen where there's a view of the lake.
Which, by the way, I think there is. Let's take a look at the photos. Let me pause it real quick. I feel like there is a view. And she'll start describing the kitchen more. And you tell me if you think this is what she's describing. Because to me, it's pretty good, dead-on description. Here we go. I can't tell if there's going to be a view of the little pond thing there. Because it's really hard to see through those windows. But I'll show you here in a second.
Somehow I feel that these two have access to this little lake house.
She's seeing it as a lake house. But it could be just a house, you know. Oh, what's it doing?
But they're still showing me carrying that little boy wrapped in the black plastic right up the slope right there behind the boulder. I guess that's the most important thing. That's where their bodies are. I can always keep hearing 20 feet, something about 20 feet.
20. Let me tell you about 20.
You know, you don't want to...
Let me tell you about 20. 20 is an interesting number in this because Lori got arrested in Hawaii, or Kauai, I should say, on 2/20/2020. Another thing is, Chad's home, I believe, is parallel with Highway 20. Another thing that I've heard Joseph Scott, I think Morgan, on Ashley Banfield's, Court TV show, he said if he had to put a distance between, I believe it was the barn it was the fire pit and where JJ was, or where Tylee was buried, he'd say, I don't know, I think it was like 20, what did he say, 20 yards. He said 20 yards. So anyway, another 20 there. Just saw that. Wanted to throw it out there. Let's carry on.
And someone goes, oh, it was 50 feet or whatever. I don't know. You know, hopefully they're just alive at their grandma's house. And this is some tricker spirit just giving me wrong information. I'm going to see for a couple minutes if there's anything else any of them would like to step forward, like maybe one of the other ones who got murdered. Was there her brother and his wife? Or her brother? Who did her brother kill? Who knows?
She doesn't even know the story, really.
One of these people got murdered.
Okay, let's go ahead and carry on. This is interesting, and you tell me what you think, because I've made my own deductions here.
I'm seeing a husky dog. And that toboggan again.
So why is she seeing these things? Who knows? Maybe.
So let's tie the husky dog.
Maybe somebody had a
harness
fixation
to the toboggan.
We don't know. Okay, we're approaching an interesting part of this. It's coming real soon. Let me preface it real quick. Okay, what you're about to hear is she's going to describe... Is it still rolling? Okay. What she's about to describe is she says, I see a man, he's drinking coffee, and he sees a car pull up. A guy gets out of the car with a rifle, or I think she says a shotgun. Same difference. And from there, I start to see some parallels again with that probable cause affidavit where they're talking about the squirrels, the shooting, the one shot, the burning of the limbs. It starts to kind of make sense. Let me know what you think. Let's go ahead and roll it.
think it's okay. So the man's showing me standing. He's standing at like a kitchen sink. It's like they have the kind of curtains that go up to about your face level.
Check this out.
That they still kind of let in light.
Are those the ones?
But then they have at the top they have another little curtain that's about 6 inches long or something.
To me, that described
it might be white
similar.
With yellow trim. That's just what I'm seeing, but I don't know if it's them. It could be a really pale yellow with little white trim too. I just don't know. I don't know, but this is what I'm seeing. He's holding a cup of coffee. The color of the cup is either like a nice dull red, like almost a clay red, or could be a little brownish too, rust brown or brown, somewhere in there anyway. I'm just trying to, see how much details But then again, remember, I could just be seeing a cup of coffee. So he puts the cup down because a car pulls in. He must have been expecting the car if he's down in there waiting. Whoever is going in the car has a rifle. Maybe they're telling me this because after this I'll look in the paper and see if this part's correct, and then if it's not, then I'll know I'm being faked out or something. Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna go ahead and read about Alex's wherabouts on the day of the crimes, or the days of the crimes. It was 2 separate occasions. Alex Cox's phone was still at the Daybell residence at 10:39. At 10:47, his phone shows a hit at the city of St. Anthony. At this time, we are unable to tell if he was actually inside the city limits of St. Anthony or if this was a cell tower ping on his phone while he was still at the Daybell residence. At 10:57 to 11:39, Cox is located at the Daybell property. At 11:52 to 12:02, he was at Del Taco in Rexburg. He appears to spend the rest of the day in his apartment. So, to me, I'd make a connection here. You tell me what you guys believe. When she says that she sees a man, he's in the kitchen, he's sipping a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden somebody pulls up. And I don't know, did she say the rifle yet? I've heard it so many times. I don't know if she said it right there, but she will. So in my opinion, that could be Alex coming over. He's coming to deliver the body of Tylee. And at this point, they need to stage it so they make it look like they were shooting squirrels or something. And so I believe, here's what I theorize. I theorize that he pulled up, he gets out, he sees Chad Daybell, and then Chad's like, hey, I'll meet you in the backyard. And so Alex pulls his truck around to the backyard where the barn is, and then they get out. Alex gets out of the truck, and Chad gives him a hand with unloading what is Tylee, wrapped in 2 different plastics, because that's what Donna says, is there's 2 different plastics that she ends up being worked on with. And from there, they do what they do to her. So I thought that painted an important kind of very vivid picture of what could have happened on that morning, that Tylee is now missing and nobody's heard from her since yesterday at that point. Okay, I'm going to have to actually end this video. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to have to go to number 5. Thank you for sticking with me. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. Please don't forget to like this video so at least more people can see it, because I really want to spread awareness that Donna was 100 million% right, and she foresaw these things that nobody could have seen. I really want her to get the recognition that she deserves. So please like it, subscribe, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll go ahead and get started on the 5th of this series. Thank you. Bye. Hello, YouTube. This is the 5th video of the series I've been making, and it's basically a run-through of what Reverend Donna Seraphina said in her first reading of the missing kids out of Rexburg, Idaho. named Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow. So remember at the time when she made it, and I'll say this again for those who are just seeing this as their first video, make sure you watch it from the first video I made, because there's a lot of interesting information. But at the time when this video was made, nobody knew the whereabouts of the kids. All they knew was that it was some tangled web of deceit and that there were missing kids out of Rexburg, Idaho. So nobody knew if they were dead or alive. And then Donna came in. She did this reading and saw these extremely vivid, descriptive, disgusting, horrifying events play out in her reading. And she was bold enough to speak about them when nobody would have believed her, because it's just too gruesome. So let's go ahead and start rolling through what she has to say. It's at around 59 minutes into her hour, 12-minute video. Let's go through it.
Life of the stepfather who helped murder these children or dispose of their bodies or whatever. If this lady is no victim, this mother of these kids, she may even be the one who killed them.
She's diabolical, guys. You know that. It's so gross.
Did the mother kill those two kids? Did this stepfather or mother's boyfriend kill the two kids? Are the two kids still alive? I hope this phone is still recording. Yep, looks like it is. This has been 1 hour, and I'm asking to connect with the girl.
Okay, at this point, she starts to tap into what I believe are the final moments of JJ and Tylee's lives. She starts to see in very minute detail what's going on with them. So it's going to be some really shocking stuff, but not shocking now that you know about this case and have read that document. So let's go ahead and listen to her.
I forgot her name, but the girl that's missing, that little girl, or the boy. Okay, so the boy shows me he's playing with something. I don't know if it's current or past, but I feel like the boy is playing with some. It might be blocks made out of kind of like a stuffed animal material. Felt, but, soft blocks or something. He heard a loud bang.
Interesting.
That startled him, and he turned around.
Let me pause it there for a second. What I believe she's seeing is, it also relates to the probable cause affidavit. The night that the family, so Lori, the two kids, and Alex, the night that they came back from Yellowstone, I believe they ambushed Tylee inside of that apartment. I don't believe they killed her at Yellowstone. I truly don't, because it seems like they came home and then all the weird activity of Alex going to her apartment and stuff happened in the middle of that night. Like between the hours of, let's see, I have it, on Monday, September 9th. So from midnight to 12:44, Cox's phone was located at his apartment. However, then at 2:42 a.m. to 3:37 a.m., Cox is located again at Lori's apartment, where Lori lived with Tylee and JJ. This is significant not only because he is there in the middle of the night, but also because this is the only time in September he appears to go over to Lori's between midnight and 6 a.m. So I believe she was killed in that apartment. And she's going to start describing what she sees right here.
It feels like the daughter was shot like right there when you come in the front door, about 10 feet, like right in front of the kitchen. Like I don't know why someone would do a murder just like that.
Yeah.
There, where like obviously you'd have a big mess to clean up, like, and then he goes into there and he looks and sees this. The mom comes over to him. I don't see the gun in her hand, so makes me wonder if she put it down or if the stepfather did. Oh no! See, now I'm getting blunt force trauma to the head.
So sick.
Okay. Maybe they didn't die the same way. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's getting hit in the head. I think he's smashing her skull with the butt of an axe, or the handle part of an axe. He wants to crush it so no one can recognize it, so the birds take it away and stuff. Wow. And then I'm feeling like the mom putting, going, it's okay, to the boy, it's okay, everything's all right, it's okay, everything's all right. And then just, she has some like giant plastic bag and she just puts it over his head really fast and starts wrapping something around. I don't know if it's tape or
duct tape.
What? And then the father sees that she's going gung-ho on that, and so he runs over to help her. Like they pin him down, and the father's the man's trying to pinch his nose so he can't breathe.
Let's revisit this part of the affidavit. Okay, paragraph number, let's go to verse 32. Hold on a second. Of course, it's not in front of me. Okay, here we go. Members of the FBI ERT team removed the top layer of sod. Underneath the layer of sod were several large flat rocks, which she talks about, I think in my first video. The rocks were removed and 2 pieces of flat paneling were found. The paneling was removed and investigators exposed a round object covered in black plastic. Upon exposing the round object covered in black plastic, a strong odor was noticed. A FBI ERT member used a small sharp instrument and made a small incision in the plastic, and a layer of white plastic was observed. An incision was made into the white layer of plastic, exposing what appeared to be human remains, the crown of a head covered in light brown hair. The remaining dirt around this object was methodically removed, exposing what appeared to be a body wrapped in black plastic. The plastic appeared to be tightly wrapped around the body and secured with gray duct tape. She saw it first. Let's go ahead and roll from here.
So that's at the doorway of where I think there's bunk beds there.
We need to find out.
There's a bedroom, the boy's bedroom. I'm not 100% sure if he shares it with a girl or not, but I feel like there's those kind of bunk beds or something where the bottom bed's a little whiter and the comforters are navy blue.
Be interesting to know, huh?
So she's leading him back into the bedroom when she kind of does that from behind, and then the stepfather jumps in to help with that. And I think that's probably why they ended up with the black plastic all over the boy, because it kind of started out that way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that was a leaf bag or what, which would mean total premeditation. Like, why would she have a leaf bag in the house?
Donna is amazing, guys.
You know?
Isn't she?
And then it feels like the girl's body's over. Like, that kitchen that kind of you look out onto the lake.
Interesting.
It feels like you walk in and it's like a kitchen, but it's open to the living room, so you don't really lose much.
She's seeing Lori's apartment.
Narrower.
That's
kitchen.
what it looks
you don't
like.
Really lose
it's
much
open
of a view by
to the living room.
Having that kitchen area there. It's like either from the living room you can see or from the kitchen.
I never noticed that detail before. Unbelievable. All right. You know, my video is going to be ending here in just a few minutes. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more in.
Maybe some of the instruments he used to do some of this damage throughout this whole crime spree. This whole little scene. Yeah, so it feels like he's like out on that middle of the lake on that little aluminum boat.
And I don't know which boat she's talking about.
Has all these tools or something wrapped in a blue tarp, and by tools I mean the hacksaw, the hatchet, all that crap. Dumps over there. He may have kept his axe. Like he might have had an attachment to one of these tools, so he didn't want to dump it. So there might be something up on the wall in the hobby shed / garage.
Tell them.
I don't get the feeling it could be wide enough for a car to pull in, but it was really built like a garage, but its primary purpose is being a hobby shed.
Let's look at it again.
They might pull cars up in it to work, but that's not the main purpose.
Oh, come on. I believe that's what she's talking about. Tylee's body was found right near there, near the fire pit.
I guess the fear is if I say too much, then it will dwindle in importance, the point of where these bodies are, of these children. And that would be, now, God, I hate to even say some kids are dead. That's the most horrible thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully they aren't. Psychic is not the same as full-on mediumship. And that's what I do. I could do mediumship so good. This is psychic.
She did a good job here.
It may have poof of air and have no real thing. And maybe they're playing at their grandma's somewhere. You know?
She doesn't want to believe it.
Maybe they've got some grandma type that's just watching them. But I'm seeing all this, and it's real important to figure out about that lake and that boulder. And right up in there is that's where the body is. All right. I hate to say that. I hate to say it. It's so stupid. And please don't think I'm a lousy medium if I'm wrong, because this is not mediumship.
No, Donna, you did good. You did very good.
Psychic is 10% as strong as mediumship, literally. Mediumship is the definitive word, because it's the direct word of the...
Let's see right here. If there's any more.
Very, very accurate. And again, they're showing me the boulder. So that's going to be your landmark. All right?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching as we conclude this series of Donna Seraphina's first reading. If you haven't watched all of them, please go back to the first and carry on through there, because there's a lot of details that Donna gives that we see in this probable cause affidavit, and it's a perfect parallel. So unbelievable, and Donna is talented. Please like this video if you can, share it, and let's get the message out that Donna saw it first, because she absolutely deserves the acknowledgement. Please make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.